Before we step into this quiet journey through the deeper layers of your inner world, I want to offer you a gentle invitation. If videos like this help you understand yourself a little better, if they bring you clarity, comfort, or a sense of connection to who you truly are beneath all the noise, then I warmly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. It's such a small gesture, but it allows me to keep creating this peaceful space where you can return whenever life feels overwhelming or confusing. So let's take a slow, grounding breath together. Let the outside world fade just a little. Let your thoughts settle like dust in a sunlit room. And together, let's step into that quiet inner space where intuition finally has the room to speak. In front of you stand 4 animal spirits: the wolf, the bear, the deer, and the owl. At a glance, they may look like simple symbols placed side by side, but each one is a doorway into a different part of your psyche. None of them appear by accident, and the one that caught your attention first, even if it was just a quick instinct, carries a meaning that goes deeper than you may realize. As you looked at the image, maybe one of the animals made your chest tighten slightly, or sparked a small warmth inside, or created that subtle inner whisper. That's the one. According to Jungian psychology, your first instinct is rarely random. Your unconscious speaks in symbols, not in words, and when a symbol resonates instantly, it's often revealing what is alive within you at this exact moment of your life. Symbols carry memory. They carry emotion. They carry instinct. They are the language your deeper self uses when your conscious mind is too busy to listen. And because of that, your choice, even if it felt quick, is already a message from within. Each of these 4 spirits represents a different kind of inner strength. The wolf, instinct, freedom, and the courage to walk your own path. The bear, grounding, resilience, and quiet, unwavering power. The deer, emotional wisdom, healing, softness, and renewal. The owl, truth, clarity, and the ability to see into shadows that most people avoid. But before we explore each spirit one by one, the first step is simply slowing down. This introduction is here to gently open the door, to help you breathe, pause, and turn inward. Because this is not a personality test. This is a moment of connection with the part of yourself that often goes unnoticed. Your choice is not about who you want to be. It is about what you need right now: freedom, strength, healing, or truth. And now that the door is open, let's take a step deeper into the world of the wolf, the spirit of instinct, direction, and inner loyalty. We now enter the territory of the wolf, the first spirit to rise from the symbolic landscape. And it doesn't emerge with noise or aggression. It steps forward with a quiet, steady confidence, as if it has always known its place. If the wolf is the one that captured your attention first, it reveals something meaningful about the energy moving through your life right now. The wolf speaks to the part of you that chooses truth over comfort, freedom over conformity, and authenticity over anything that feels fake or forced. When you resonate with the wolf, it often means your intuition is especially sharp. You may feel things before you can explain them. You may sense people's intentions long before they show their true colors. You may pick up on emotional currents in a room without needing a single word spoken. This is not imagination. This is instinct, one of the oldest and most trusted forms of human wisdom. People drawn to the wolf often walk a path that is unmistakably their own. Not because they want to be different, not because they reject others, but because they cannot betray themselves just to blend into spaces that don't feel right. There is a natural independence inside you, a need to move through life with honesty, clarity, and inner alignment. And yet, despite the stereotype of the lone wolf, wolves are not truly solitary. They long for connection, but only with those who are loyal, grounded, sincere, and able to meet them with the same depth of truth they offer. If you carry wolf energy, you may have experienced moments where others misunderstood you, not because you were wrong, but because you noticed things they preferred to ignore. Your sensitivity to truth makes you aware of subtle realities that many people simply don't want to face. You may have walked alone at certain stages of your life, not out of weakness, but out of necessity. Learning to trust your own inner compass, discovering that standing alone can sometimes be the most powerful form of strength. But like any archetype, the wolf comes with its challenges. Those who resonate with it often build emotional walls, not because they don't feel deeply, but because they feel too deeply. You may guard your heart fiercely. You may reveal vulnerability only to a chosen few. You may struggle to trust even when someone means well, because your instinct whispers warnings you can't logically explain. And yet within you lives a rare and beautiful loyalty. Loyalty not only to others, but to your deepest self. Once someone has truly earned your trust, your devotion is steady, fierce, and unbreakable. This is one of the wolf's greatest gifts. Another gift is the wolf's relationship with the unknown. When the forest grows dark, the wolf does not panic. It listens. It adapts. It moves forward guided not by logic, but by intuition, by that deep inner knowing that doesn't require explanations. You have this ability too. Even when life feels uncertain, even when the path ahead is not yet lit, there is a part of you that simply knows which direction to move. This inner knowing has carried you through difficult times, and it continues to guide you now. But instinct alone, powerful as it is, can become exhausting if it isn't balanced. A life led entirely by alertness and intuition can leave you feeling drained. And that is exactly where the next spirit enters, a presence that balances the wolf's wild clarity with grounding, stability, and quiet strength. The bear. After the sharp instinct and wild freedom of the wolf, we step into a landscape that feels heavier, steadier, and deeply rooted. This is the realm of the bear, an energy that does not rush, does not chase, and does not react impulsively. Instead, it stands firm like a mountain, speaking not through movement, but through presence. If the bear is the spirit that called to you, then somewhere inside you lives a well of strength shaped by everything you've lived through. The challenges that hardened you, the responsibilities that matured you, and the moments where you had no choice but to be strong, even when you were tired. The bear is not a symbol of aggression. It is a symbol of resilience, a resilience that forms slowly, layer by layer, like the rings inside a tree. People drawn to the bear archetype often had to grow up sooner than others. Maybe life handed you responsibilities early. Maybe you learned to stand on your own 2 feet long before you were ready. Maybe you became the strong one in your family, your relationships, or your circle, the one others rely on when life feels unstable. If this spirit resonated with you, you might not even realize how much stability you bring to people around you. Your presence alone can be grounding. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't need grand gestures. Your steadiness speaks for you, and yet your strength is quiet, the kind that doesn't announce itself. It's in the way you keep going when you're exhausted, the way you hold things together even when you feel like you're barely holding yourself, The way you show up for others again and again, even when you wish someone would show up for you. But like every powerful archetype, the bear also carries its shadows. Those who resonate with bear energy often take on too much. You may carry weight that doesn't belong to you. You may hold your emotions inside because you don't want to burden anyone. You may feel responsible for everyone's stability except your own. Asking for help can feel almost impossible. Not because you believe you don't deserve it, but because you're so used to being the strong one that you don't know how to put the weight down. You may struggle to show vulnerability, as if letting people see your softer side would somehow diminish the strength everyone admires in you. But the bear teaches a crucial truth. Real strength includes rest. Real strength includes retreat. Real strength includes giving yourself permission to step back, to breathe, and to return to your inner cave. Not to escape life, but to renew yourself. In Jungian symbolism, the bear's hibernation represents a return to the inner world, a slowing down, a resetting of the spirit. If you were drawn to this archetype, this might be your soul's way of telling you that you need a moment of inward retreat, a moment to restore your emotional energy, reconnect with yourself, and rebuild what's been depleted. Another profound aspect of bear energy is its protectiveness. You protect others fiercely, but you also protect your own emotions in subtle, quiet ways. You might let almost no one into your inner world. You might appear strong on the surface while carrying deep sensitivity underneath. A sensitivity the world rarely gets to see because you've learned to guard it. And while some souls need grounding and steadiness, others need gentleness, healing, and renewal. That brings us to the next spirit, one that enters softly, moves lightly, and heals simply by being the deer. After the bear's heavy grounding presence, the energy shifts into something softer, quieter, and almost delicate. Yet despite its gentleness, the deer carries a power that is unmistakable, the kind of power that can only come from a heart that has felt deeply and survived. The deer does not enter with force. It steps forward like a breath of fresh air after a long winter, a reminder that tenderness is not weakness and that healing often arrives in the quietest ways. If this is the spirit that drew your attention, it says something profound about the emotional landscape within you. The deer is the archetype of empathy, intuition, and emotional truth. People who resonate with the deer often carry wounds that the world cannot see. Wounds not always created by dramatic events, but by small, repeated hurts that left quiet marks on the soul. And yet, despite this pain, you have not hardened. You have not closed yourself off. Your heart remains open. You feel deeply. You care sincerely. You notice subtleties others overlook, the change in someone's voice, the tension behind a smile, the emotion hidden in someone's silence. You don't just see people, you sense them. Empathy is not something you try to give. It is something that naturally radiates from you. But like all gifts, it comes with challenges. People drawn to the deer often struggle with boundaries. You might put others first at the expense of your own needs. You might silence your pain to keep the peace. You might carry emotional weight that isn't yours because kindness feels more natural than saying no. You might avoid conflict even when your heart is the one being hurt. The deer teaches a vital truth. Gentleness is a form of strength. Sensitivity is a form of wisdom. Softness is not something to hide. It is something to honor. The symbolism of the deer's antlers holds deep meaning. Every year they fall away, and every year they grow back, larger, stronger, more intricate. This mirrors your own emotional regeneration. No matter what has happened to you, no matter what you've lost, there is a part of you that knows how to begin again. In Jungian psychology, the deer aligns with the archetype of the healer. Not the healer who fixes others through force, but the healer whose presence alone brings comfort. You may not realize it, but your calm can soothe others. Your honesty can make people feel understood. Your vulnerability creates safety that many people rarely experience. But healing is only one side of the deer's gift. To move forward, healing must be paired with clarity, and clarity belongs to the next spirit. Where the deer feels, the owl sees. The owl brings wisdom, insight, and the ability to perceive truths hidden beneath the surface, even in darkness. It is time to meet the owl. After the deer's gentle, healing presence, a new energy enters the scene, one quieter but sharper, softer but more penetrating. This is the realm of the owl, the spirit of inner wisdom and deep perception. The owl does not need to speak loudly. It doesn't impress with force or motion. Its power comes from awareness, from seeing what lies beneath the surface long before others even sense it. If the owl captured your attention, it reveals a rare kind of insight within you, an ability to recognize truths without needing them explained, an ability to perceive intentions, emotions, and patterns that other people often miss entirely. Maybe you've always just known things, without evidence, without logic, without being able to point to a reason. You sense when something is off. You feel when someone isn't being honest. You pick up on tension in a room even when everyone else seems oblivious. This isn't overthinking. This is intuition operating at a deep, almost ancient level. People connected to the owl archetype tend to be observers. You may sit quietly, but you see more than those who take up all the space. You read between the lines. You understand the tone beneath the words, the meaning behind the silence. You see the emotional truth long before it rises to the surface. This gift is powerful, but it can also feel heavy. When you perceive what others don't, it can create a sense of distance, as if you're living slightly apart from the world around you. You may feel misunderstood because your insights go far deeper than small talk or surface-level thinking. You might hold back what you know because you're afraid it will unsettle people or make you seem too intense. Your mind is active, sometimes too active, always analyzing, reflecting, turning ideas over like stones in a river. The owl's wisdom is profound, but without balance, it can lead to mental exhaustion. Even so, this inner vision is a gift. You don't want to just live life. You want to understand it. You want to understand people, emotions, motives, truths, patterns, meaning. You see the world not only as it is, but as it really feels beneath the surface. And what makes the owl truly extraordinary isn't just intelligence. It's courage. To see the truth is one thing, to accept it is another. Those who resonate with the owl often have the strength to face realities others avoid. You may not always act on what you see right away, but deep down, your inner voice whispers truths you can't ignore. In Jungian symbolism, the owl is the wise elder, the inner mentor who appears when you're ready to move into a deeper level of awareness. It asks you to trust your insight, to stop dismissing your intuition, and to honor the clarity that lives inside you. But insight alone isn't the end of the journey. Neither is instinct, nor strength, nor sensitivity. True transformation happens when all four energies come together. When the wolf, the bear, The deer and the owl unite into an integrated understanding of who you truly are. It's time to enter the final chapter, the moment where everything you've discovered begins to connect. We have reached the final chapter of this journey, but in truth, this is where everything truly begins. Choosing one of the four animal spirits was never about labeling you or placing you into a fixed category. It was about listening to the part of your inner world that is speaking the loudest at this moment of your life. Because while one spirit stood out to you today, the reality is that all four live inside you. They shift, rise, rest, and return depending on the season of your life. The wolf, instinct, direction, and the courage to be true to yourself. The bear, strength, grounding, and quiet resilience. The deer, emotional depth, healing, and softness. The owl, clarity, wisdom, and truth. None of these parts cancel the others. They exist together as facets of your own inner landscape, a changing constellation of instincts, strengths, emotions, and insights. If you were drawn to the wolf, your life may be entering a chapter where you must trust yourself more deeply, reclaim your independence, or finally listen to the instinct you've been ignoring. If the bear spoke to you, your soul might be asking for stability, for reconnection to your foundation, or for a moment of deep rest after carrying so much for so long. If the deer touched your heart, you may be longing for gentleness, emotional renewal, or permission to soften where you've been too hard on yourself. And if it was the owl, perhaps a truth is emerging, something you've sensed for a long time but are only now ready to face. The beauty of Jungian symbolism is its fluidity. You are not meant to remain just one thing. You are not fixed. You are not limited. You are a living, evolving tapestry of experiences and inner archetypes. There will be times in your life when you embody the wolf's fierce instinct, times when the bear's stability becomes essential, times when the deer guides you with tenderness, and times when the owl's wisdom lights your way through darkness. The spirit you chose today is simply the one stepping forward because you need it now. Jung believed the soul speaks through symbols when words are not enough. And sometimes one image, one silent, intuitive connection, can reveal more about us than hours of logical thinking. What you felt when you looked at these four spirits wasn't random. It was a response from somewhere deep inside you, something ancient, something true. Maybe the wolf reminded you of your courage. Maybe the bear reminded you of your strength. Maybe the deer reminded you of your softness. Maybe the owl reminded you of your truth. Or maybe, more importantly, this journey reminded you that you carry all of these within you. So as you leave this inner landscape, take a moment to reflect. What called to you today, and why? What part of you is waking up? What part of you needs to be heard, honored, or healed? Because the soul doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it nudges, sometimes it shows you an image, an animal, a symbol, something simple, yet deeply connected to who you are becoming. Today, through this journey, the spirit animal you chose also chose you.